My name is Manuel da Costa. I'm the founder of Bridebook. Bridebook is basically matchmaking for brides and wedding businesses. Basically, we came across a problem when I was planning my wedding with my wife. She had everything packed up, like she got magazine snippets and she got like all sorts of planning material, a diary and everything, and she kept that. And basically one day she ended up losing it. So I started looking into this a bit more. And the problem basically that brides face is that wedding planning is stressful. Not so much for the grooms, mainly for the brides. So basically what they want is an ease. Sorry, are you a groom?
No, nothing.
Are you planning your wedding?
Yeah. I have friends who are.
Not stressed out. So basically what they want, brides, they want an easier way to plan their wedding efficiently, and they want good deals, and obviously find the best and relevant suppliers who will supply them for their wedding day. The wedding businesses, on the other hand, have a different problem. They've got a problem where they sign up to all these different advertising channels, wedding directories, wedding fairs, and they pay a lot of money. They pay up to £1,000 to £2,000 for a stall, no bigger than this, at a wedding fair. And they've also got the rising costs of SEO, website maintenance, and all the new fandangled social media and stuff coming in where they have to dedicate their time into it. So they're basically looking for an easier solution. What's the alternatives right now? So, as I said, brides will look into wedding magazines, they can look for suppliers, good deals in wedding magazines. They go to wedding fairs and spend a day there. I got dragged to one. No, actually more than one. And Google. So people go on Google and they'll search wedding photographer Manchester, etc. So where do we come in? So Bridebook's intended to be this wedding planning website where brides will go on there and plan everything they need to plan their wedding day. So they've got their guest list, their seating planner, their gift list, and everything. What it then does is the site learns from their profile, their needs, what they're looking for in terms of supplies, how much they're willing to pay, etc., and then match them accordingly to suppliers who meet their needs. So it's intended to be a really clever system which automatically does the work for the bride, rather than the bride actually having to physically search through all these different channels. We give them that solution there and then, and it's highly targeted leads for businesses as a result of this. So think of Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you're there putting in all your information, liking Dark Knight Rises or liking some other whatever on there, and then you see an advert that comes up which is similar, catered to your taste. Okay, so it's a bit like that, where we're going to weed out the ones that don't actually match you, and as I said, it's matchmaking for brides and businesses. And that's how we're different. So we're different from the existing websites out there. So rather than just being directories of listings and where businesses pay more and more just to appear on the top of that directory, we're saying to businesses and to brides that we'll give you relevant search results, and for businesses relevant leads. So what have I done so far? I'm the only founder, so I'm semi-technical, more on the analytics, SEO side of things, and got an MVP back in December 2011, which was just a landing page, basically just telling what the solution was. Drove pay-per-click traffic from Facebook, which was really good for pay-per-click. Sorry, Avon, that answers your question. Facebook traffic, because you can really get down to the nitty-gritty demographic drill down on Facebook ads, and got up to 120 brides signing up on there, and that's basically what I wanted to learn, whether brides would actually sign up onto that site and want to use something like that. Been playing it really lean, in using lean startup methodologies to find out whether people wanted to use it in the first place, because there's no point building something that people don't want to use. And that's basically what, so I got that, and then we got the 30% conversion, so okay fine, there is demand over here, let's take it further and find out if the businesses feel that pain. And as Andrew was saying, you talk to businesses, we've spoken to quite a few businesses in terms of not selling to them, but just to find out in a non-biased way if there's any pain point over there. And what I explained earlier on the problems that both sides face is not my words, it's their words as to what what problems they face. In April 2012, got the next site up, which had full login features, etc. And it still didn't have all the features. There's still stuff on there which I built assuming that people would want to use it, but then I measured what they didn't use. And there are about 40 odd brides that are active on the site and using the bare bones features on there. Not so many businesses just yet because that's still a sales channel which I haven't really gotten to so far. And yeah, so that's it. You can tweet us at Bridebook or email us at info@bridebook.co.uk. Cool. Questions? Any questions? Anyone?
Who do you charge? The brides or the
Okay, so
brides?
the brides, so as I said, it's like Facebook, so the brides can go over there and use everything for free. It's the businesses that actually pay for that privilege of getting that really highly targeted lead. So that's it.
So what?
You're not heckling me,
No. I think today's a really good idea.
Is that because you thought of it first?
I thought of it. But you just mentioned that you're analysing your 40 brides.
Yeah.
And that's quite interesting because I've seen your site. It's got a bunch of different features.
It has.
Are you surprised at all as to what they're using or what they're not using?
Right. One of the features one of the value propositions I put to brides at the start, I thought this was really amazing, was the fact that they would be able to invite their friends and family, so they can invite their mum to help plan their wedding. So like a sort of task management tool. And that was the idea. And I put it over there, didn't really build it, and just checked who was actually clicking on it, and no one even requested it even once throughout the course of it. They were requesting all the other features on there, but they weren't requesting that one thing, not even once. I just removed it then.
So that must have been a really complicated piece of code to write.
Yeah, so I just removed it. It's a good thing that failed.
So how much? Because I know you've got like project planning tools for right now. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you want to reveal actually what you learn about your own business, but
What do you want to know?
like what proportion of them are using the project planning versus the
project planning. The project planning doesn't. You mean the assigning the tasks and stuff? That wasn't built.
Oh,
That wasn't built. That was just a dummy which wanted to test and see whether people wanted it,
and
and they didn't want it, so it wasn't built.
okay, so the whole
Yeah. The other features which this runs on, they've been using in the budget planner and stuff like that. So yeah.
How did you measure that they didn't want it? Did you just
Okay.
link to a non-existent function and then?
Yeah, something like that. So basically, they have the side panel with all the sort of budget planner, seating planner, invite a friend, etc. And when they clicked on, say, a budget planner, they can check their budget, etc. If they go on to invite a friend or get someone else to help, they just get like a mock-up of what that would look like, and then they say yes, I'm interested, or no, I'm not interested, and then just measure, like, if they click it, then I just get a notification what they've clicked on.
But how did you decide that was accurate? Because they might have said, I'm not interested because it's just them. But did you track the number of people looking at the screen?
Yes. So
And
clicks
that
as
wasn't
well.
significant on its own.
Yeah, there's heat maps, click maps, and even videos. So. Unethical, but yeah. Go on.
Just a bit of context for everyone. Manuel is he organises the Lean Startup group, so he knows Lean really well. So just so you know, because there's not a bunch of questions around Lean, so Manuel knows his shit.
My only concern would be that you said you only have 40 brides.
Yeah, so this is fairly early stages, and I haven't really pushed on the marketing completely so far. So I've been in the stage of sort of learning as to what works, what doesn't work.
No, just not in terms of earning any money, but just in terms of getting a significant result from those tests. Might be tricky.
At this point in time, I haven't reached that critical mass in terms of brides or businesses. My next step is proving the model in one area. So rather than focus my efforts all over the country and everywhere, I'll just focus on one county and just focus on proving that model there and proving. Tekken's given me some good feedback as well with regards to that.
Sure, I understand that. In terms of your tests, your things that you're testing using your Lean methodology, with only 40 users,
yeah,
you might okay, you can get an answer, but
Is
it right to discount a feature entirely based on
it's not just quantitative feedback. It's not just okay. There's clicks and stuff. There's also qualitative in the sense that I'm contacting them and I'm probably incentivizing some of those, you know, the talks and stuff. Actually talking with them. It's not, as I said, it's not that startup where it's gone live, you know, nationwide or global for that matter. But it's learning what people are doing, so then I can sort of transpose that to a wider scale after that. Sorry,
so I think, but the real deal for you is actually the suppliers, isn't it?
Is getting suppliers. Yeah,
that's the real deal.
Yeah.
No matter how much functionality you've got on the user side,
yeah,
that's just a lead generator.
No,
so my question is what challenges do you see or are you experiencing with getting suppliers to sign up to sponsor?
So right now, the suppliers, as I said, they're used to a directory model side where they pay X amount and they expect to get nothing in return or just about enough. Same with the wedding fair stalls, and they pay $1,000 and they'll be lucky if they can even get 2 or 3 leads to claw that money back. So it's basically trying to educate them in that sense that how we're different, because I use live chat on the site as well. Just if anyone comes on the site, how can I help them, see if they get in touch. And then a lot of time people will be like, how much are you charging for your directory? And I'm like, it's not a directory. So it's trying to educate people, and that's one of the challenges I face as well, trying to take this slightly different take on an existing.
I was going to say, if I was a supplier, my fundamental question is how can I trust your lead?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
the question.
That's the thing, because when the site will work completely as it should, we don't come in and pass the lead from one to the other. It's basically in the control of the brides, not us. So we don't bias it. So if tomorrow a supplier comes in and says we're going to give you $1,000, or we want to be on top everywhere, unless they're relevant to that bride, I'll turn them away. Probably not. I'll say yes.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side of this, I mean, because I used to do wedding videos, and it's just a horrible business to be in, because it is.
Can we get a beer later on?
You know, it's just literally if you don't have a landing site which is just, you know, absolutely perfect and things, it's not worth it. And also, there's loads of kids coming out of university with cameras, and they'll do it for a lot cheaper and things like that. So
I think the relevancy is the big
Yeah, I think that's where we're trying to be different from what's out there.
Yeah.
And I think it is a benefit, but it's also a challenge, as I said, because it's convincing a market that's used to seeing things in a certain way to see it in a slightly different way. Like, so transition from MySpace to Facebook.
So if your model of making money is to charge suppliers to be on this, and
per lead. So there is a base fee. So so there's a nominal fee as a subscription, which isn't anything that breaks the bank. But then the per lead is quite significant.
And you're pushing them to the brides. The brides are searching for various things and finding.
So say for example, I'm a bride, and I search. I'm getting married in Manchester. I've got this X amount of budget for this. When I go search for it, the suppliers that match my needs, my criteria, come up rather than like any random person.
So how have you seeded this with initial suppliers? Because in order to sell it to suppliers, you've got to have people using
Exactly. It. This is achieving the critical mass. This is a problem that I'm trying to address right now in terms of that. So it's something I'm still brainstorming and trying to figure out how this will fit in, but I've got a few ideas of where this will go.
Do you have any suppliers on that at the moment?
There are about 20 odd.
Are they actual paying suppliers or
no,
are they?
not at the moment. That was basically when I first launched the site to get people to sign up.
Did you just pick 20 and stick them in there?
No. They signed up, and some of them just landed on the page and signed up.
Yeah, it might be worth adding suppliers without their permission into there, and then you've got stuff to show your users.
That's what I was talking about.
And then say, look how much people actually drove to your site.
Basically, I had this long conversation with Tekken the other day. Is I got a problem of a two-sided model, satisfying brides, satisfying users. One without the other doesn't work. Okay, I can have like hundreds of brides. If I don't have X amount of users, of businesses, they'll go off. So I'm trying to look at satisfying one side, and then the other side will be easier to sell to, if anything.
how do you, again, if I was a supplier, a bit like networking, really. There's a lot of networking groups where you only have certain business, so if you've got a web developer, you're not going to have the door.
Oh,
So
you mean the BNI code?
Yeah. So if I was a supplier, I would say, well, are you going to get all the leads to all my competitors, or am I just going to get the leads from me? I'm just using how.
Okay, so as I said, the whole thing is relevance. There's no point in me showing your results to someone if you're charging way more than she can afford. Yeah. So no matter how much you say that, why should that guy come up? So would you rather get someone calling you up who can pay you how much you charge, or who cannot pay you what you charge? Because I remember when my wife signed up to one of those other sites, they got a spreadsheet of every single bride that signed up, and then they were basically cold calling. So they cold called my wife and said, okay, we found you on this site, when are you getting married? And she was like, I wasn't even expecting your call, why are you calling me up? So it's a bit of a cold call, it's a bit of a not so good experience.
I think all the industries have very mature business models around kind of qualified leads, and so it works. It's just not in this industry at the moment. So I think, yeah, your problem with seeding it though with lots of suppliers is you're trying to have lots of. You're not just interested in geographical location. You're interested in a lot more kind of rich information around suppliers, which is possibly difficult to seed it with on a mass scale.
Call them and say, getting married, how much do you charge? There's ways around it. Sorry, Farhang, do you have a question?
What's the competition like?
Oh, the competition is rich and varied. There's at least about 50 odd competitors. The biggest one is UK Bride, which has been going for quite a long time. And there's also like other companies like Hitched and Wedding Spot and all those. But again, as I said, the model that they operate on these quite big blog style sites with lots of content. We're a directory at the end of the day. So you go on the site, you search in the directory. We're trying to be more like a web app where everything's walled within that web app, not available to everyone. So that makes sense.
It seems to me you need to just forget about know what they're doing, but then just forget about them.
Yeah.
Copying what they're doing. You're all doing the same thing. They all sound like the clones. And just absolutely hammer the relevancy bit.
Yeah.
Because that's something that's big right now, going to be big in the future. If you can hammer that and be known for that one thing, relevancy.
Yeah, but people aren't going to actually go and use the app if it's not useful to them, though, are they?
They are, if it is useful, is in the way it describes. If
So
it's
do you want-
targeted and he's only getting leads from the right people.
I was just saying, do you want to tell us a bit about what you're going to do next then? What's your next step?
Yeah, as I said, we're going to seed test it in one area, and then seed it with
Your geographic location.
So in a geographic location, basically get the brides to use it, shortlist it, test the model out and see that it works, and then basically use that to sell to the businesses, rather than call up the business and then try to explain it to them. So once they've got something working and they've seen it happen, that's, at least from my point of view, at this point, it may be an easier sale.
So what you mean, you're going to be generating leads for them without them having to sign up?
Something like that, yeah. For the time being, Nick.
Which county are you choosing? A rich county like Cheshire, or are you going to go with?
You signing up?
No, I'm just wondering. How would you? Are you going to do it in Manchester because that's where you are? Or what would you
I thought like somewhere around like Manchester and Cheshire, because it becomes a bit local. If I do need to go and meet them face to face, avoids a train trip then, I suppose. But
Are your suppliers offering unique offerings?
we will. In what sense?
Just kind of, I don't know, giving you something that they're not.
I don't have that answer at this point in time. It may be, but we push them to do that. Otherwise, why should they, get the leads from our side or something like that? I don't have that answer. Is the answer.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Have you bought the domains for Christmas and bar mitzvahs?
There was someone suggested divorce book as well. I'll look into that.
Yeah. Then you could just channel them right through from your side.
Just email them 6 months later.
Yeah.
No, this goes back to a company I thought was going to do called Flat Pack Coffins, because coffins are really expensive, and when someone's died in your family and you go along and they tell you to spend 400 quid on a box which is just going to be burned in a couple of days, it's a bit bad. But I was Flat Pack Coffins.
My upsell level.
Do show and tell next week.
Show and tell next week, I'll tell you. Yeah. No, but everybody should have a flat.
And that's it. My time's up.
Okay, thanks, Manuel. Okay, I'll find